second, ne?
Hey, good day, everybody. My name is Dennis Rawls. I am the General Secretary of PBICT. I'd like to welcome you to the workshop. To our, too much happening today. I'd like to welcome you to our masterclass. Today we have Jerome Skakane all the way from KZN. He'll be going through a presentation regarding the taking advantage of the digital economy, which is our theme for today. So I'd like to prepare him so he can get ready. I have his presentation here. I'll be going live with the presentation, and then Jerome will lead us through his presentation, introduce who he is, and then go through the particular subject matter of digital marketing. So he's our subject matter expert, and he'll be running the masterclass on that digital marketing aspect of the digital economy. And then later, Undu Botelezi will join us, also all the way from KZN, and he'll be presenting on something else. So we'll hold a stream until Undu can join us. But meanwhile, we're here with Jerome, and then I'll give Jerome the floor to introduce himself while I prepare his presentation. Thank you very much. Jerome, you can switch your mic on and introduce yourself to the people while I set up your presentation. Jerome, you there?
Thank you very much, Dennis. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Very nice introduction there. Felt like you know me for quite some time. But good afternoon to everybody who's joined the webinar. And thank you very much for this opportunity to actually take everyone through some of the key aspects of digital marketing. We all are aware that we are going through tough times, quite a lot of global challenges that we are facing. But one of the key opportunities that we have is how do we obviously recover and find these opportunities for each and every one of our businesses. So before I start, I just want to actually cover some of the things that we're going to discuss today. I'm just going to obviously do a quick introduction of Jerome Dumiso Sikakane. After that, we'll discuss obviously some of the key challenges that the world is facing today. Third, we'll look at some of the new world of digital migration. There's a lot of companies that are now under lockdown with COVID-19 pandemic all over the globe. Companies are now forced to actually shut down. So how do you actually come up with a new strategy post COVID-19, post lockdown? There's a lot of businesses that will obviously be born out of this COVID-19, while at the same time, there's a lot of businesses that we are going to lose. So this is a special and most important time for each and every entrepreneur to actually sit down, re-strategize your business, and look at how can you this time incorporate online platforms as part of your business strategy. So fourthly, we're going to look at what is digital marketing. And I'm going to take you guys through some of the multi-channel approaches that marketers go through. And again, as a marketer, you don't want to use one channel to actually get your message across to your audience. So what is the importance of digital marketing? We're also going to look at the benefits of digital marketing. And I'm sure a lot of you guys will not want to know where do I start? I mean, if I've got a business and I want to actually now start looking at taking my business online, where do I start? We're going to discuss some of the risks of digital marketing. And we're going to discuss, obviously, some of the ways you can manage your online reputation. You know, while there's a lot of benefits, there's also some risks. And we've obviously seen a lot of companies that have strong online presence having to actually do a lot of reputational damage with anything that happens online. So we're just going to highlight some of the key things of how entrepreneurs and how business owners can actually manage their reputation online, whether it's positive or negative. It's very key to know how to actually respond to that. And for every company or any company that wants to sell their products online, we are going to be discussing that just towards the end of the presentation. Right, so I'll leave a Q&A session for just at the end of the presentation, and I'll just allow the program director to take me through some of the questions. Right, so I'm good to go. I think we should start. So I'm sure a lot of us, can you still hear me, guys? Can you still hear me, yeah? Ennis, still there?
Yes, I'm still here. Everyone can hear you. You're live. You're so good.
Fine, that's good. Okay, so we're on the right page. So we are all facing a global challenge at the moment, which is obviously the corona pandemic that has been part of our lives. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of us will be familiar with this picture. I mean, a year ago, a lot of us, you know, might have felt that you know, COVID-19 is something that we'll never experience. And, you know, digital transformation is something that a lot of businesses felt there's not much of a need of. And look at what has happened today. A lot of businesses are stuck in situations where they can't trade. Social distancing has been quite a bit of a problem. So this is basically what this whole presentation is going to be about, and how do we now navigate and try and actually resuscitate some of the businesses. And as I mentioned, a lot of businesses will unfortunately not be able to survive this pandemic, depending on how long it will take. But if we are estimating at least 18 months for the cure to be found, you definitely are expecting that quite a lot of businesses will definitely not make it. Right. So a quick introduction on who Ndumiso is. Ndumiso is a marketer by profession, running a digital marketing agency based in Durban. So we basically help our clients in terms of managing their social media presence. We build websites. We also build software. So we build tailor-made software solutions for companies. We also do training. We've got one of our clients, Dimension Data, who we conduct training for to SMMEs. So the training obviously is covered in all three major provinces across the country, and covers things like social media, the importance of marketing. And we've been doing this training for at least a year now. So just the perfect timing, because a lot of these entrepreneurs needed such skills. These are skills that are essential for every entrepreneur who is going to be reopening post-COVID-19. Next slide, please, Program MC. So one of the things that I wanted to discuss to start off with, we'll look at a holistic picture of what digital marketing is. But in a nutshell, you know, there's quite a lot of platforms, online platforms that have now being part of our lives. And this allows businesses to actually, in times like the COVID-19, continuously focus on getting that message across to their target audience. And if you look at your physical office space for every business, whether you're a retail outlet or you're a service-based focused business, you have your office space where you actually get all your customers to come in. And I'll just take a typical example, maybe a retail store that sells fashion clothes. So in this case, you have your physical store, and your customers will obviously need to know where your building is, where are you located, and in many cases, your customers will want to actually see an environment that's professional and neat. Now, with these challenges that we face, the physical office space or the physical store is not existent anymore. With social distancing that's happening, people can't get to the store. And if they do get to the store, I mean, obviously at this present moment, we got our essential services goods that are getting sold, which incorporates food. But for companies that are selling clothing and other goods, they find challenges. And now, if you have a website or any other online presence, your customer will need to know which sections of your website to visit. Now, first and foremost, they will not need to know your address. They'll need to know your website URL. So it's very important for any business to have a website, not just a website, but how do you also incorporate things like social media onto your online existence? So in this case, your website, again, should look neat. And again, I'll ask a lot of people that have seen websites across different platforms. You find that the minute you go into your homepage, it's uncluttered. It's the same situation if somebody goes into your store, your physical store, they find that it's not so much of a professional and neat environment. So you're now driving a lot of your traffic not into your physical store, but onto your website. And it has to be very neat and allow the user to actually find it easy to navigate across your website. And in many cases, how your website is designed will determine if people are going to shop from your online store or they'll actually just walk in and out. So there's a lot of big focus around how do you actually migrate to these digital platforms. Again, in your physical store, your fashion outlet store, your customers will obviously come in, browse through some of all your products, and have a look at which ones they like, the different sizes. In this case, again, in your website, your customers are now browsing through your online catalogs. If you're a service-based business, your customers get an opportunity to actually look at what your service offering is. And you can actually have other channels which customers can actually ask questions to online platforms. Again, in your physical store, customers will make a purchase directly into your cash tellers. But alternatively, in your website, the difference is you will now have your own online platform. So we build a lot of websites for a lot of our clients where we incorporate their online store. And today, those are the types of businesses that we can say are businesses of the future, where simple transactions are happening online. And of course, South Africa is still, I wouldn't say a bit behind, but we still have quite a lot of challenges around trust in terms of having all these personal details online. So, I'm not really quite concerned of how the future will look. I think we're surely going to get there as years go by. But that is basically what a lot of countries across the world are doing today. We're moving into a cashless society where everything is going digital, simple transaction online through your website. And, between the buyer and the seller, the money is actually transferred into the account of the company. So in a nutshell, this is basically what, the next world is basically going to be looking like. And, I was just having a discussion with in another online lecture that we had around real estates. The work from home approach is going to make a lot of people sort of get comfortable with working from home. We're slowly going to adjust to it. The question is, will people still need that office space? A lot of people will be asking questions 6 months, 7 months from now that, what, we've gotten used to working from home. Do we still need to spend money in terms of moving into an office environment? And if you've got these online platforms that are working for your business, you'll be able to survive. Next slide, please, Program Director. So we then look at what is digital marketing. So for small businesses that are involved in any kind of business, we are so used to traditional ways of marketing, and those obviously include the likes of your TV advertising, newspaper advertising, radio advertising, all your traditional platforms that we used to, that we are used to, print media. So, today, there's a lot more that is now getting used, and this is basically where people are. A lot of people are basically on their cell phones today. Our lives revolve around our cell phones, and that's where we basically spend most of our time. Our cell phones have actually become our lives, and that is how we actually navigate our day-to-day lives. So your website is very important. If anybody wants to search and know about your company, the first thing they do is go on Google. And if your website is actually designed in such a way that it's visible on these search engines, Google obviously being the most used, your chances of being found by your potential clients are much more higher. So as you can see, your website is obviously the center of your online presence. It's very important to start focusing on that website. But there's a lot of traffic today again that happens on elements such as social media, which we're going to discuss in much more detail. I'm hoping that Dennis will probably have another session at a later stage where we discuss the detail around social media. Some of the trainings that I have, especially in enterprise development, we cover the most important elements of social. And the reason why I say there's a lot of companies that are on social media, but they're not getting return on investment purely because they don't know how to actually use those platforms in the benefit of the business. Some people are posting content every day. Although in many cases it's not consistent, but there's no consistency, and in many cases a lot of them just end up not posting. So I remember this one time where I just finished my digital marketing course at UCT, and that's where I realized the importance of getting the right content, because if your social media is not producing the right content, and content that will make your audience want to shop your products, want to actually get your services, it defeats the whole purpose. And you find that your website will not get much traffic because your social media is not in existence. So it's very important to have that website as home to your online presence. And if you want to grow your online footprint, your website is key. You then use social media. And again, we've got many social media platforms, Facebook being the most used in South Africa, followed by the other ones. But more people are now getting into social media and utilizing these platforms. And you definitely want to actually have those as part of your online strategy. Now, the most important question, next slide, please, Dennis, is what is the importance of digital marketing today? Now, again, one of the things that I remember 2 years ago when I did a course on social media, was the interesting fact that the world is going digital, and the digital economy growing 10 times faster. There was an expectation that by 2020, most companies across the world will have some sort of online presence. And if you look at the reality of this today, especially with COVID-19 that has came in, a lot of businesses have actually, migrated to digital platforms. And when we talk about digital online presence, we're not only talking about a website, simple WhatsApp tool that people are now using to actually sell their products, whether through their statuses or whether through just publishing content. So that is where the world is going. And for any entrepreneur that's actually in business today, it's very important for you to actually now tapping into the digital side of marketing other than your traditional platforms. Now, South Africa has a population of 52 million citizens. That obviously is moving to probably 60 million quite soon. Now, again, these statistics that I'm sharing have probably increased by at least 2 million over the last year. But in a nutshell, 38 million South Africans have unique mobile users. So of a population of 58 million, you already got 38 million that have got access to mobile smartphones. Now, that is a very high figure, considering the fact that you're only looking at about 20 million that don't have access to this. And that will most likely be your children, your grown-ups who are not really much interested in all these technologies. So there's a huge market that we are now focusing on. 31 million South Africans have now got access to the internet. We're just having a discussion the other day that, A lot of universities are now stuck in a situation where they need to take their curriculums online. Now, it's one thing to build an online system that your students are going to be able to go into, but how do they access the internet? And those are the questions that are now getting raised. You know, a lot of them do not have access to the internet. A lot of them do not have access to data. You know, although one question and one things that come out is that a lot more South Africans have got now access to the internet. If you look at how many people are now exposed to WhatsApp. Now, WhatsApp sitting at 18 million, 18 million social media users. WhatsApp has got its own figure. Now, with those social media users, 18 million is quite a lot. Those are the people that are in platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and obviously WhatsApp that is included. WhatsApp is the most used. But 16 million of those come from Facebook. Again, as I said, you're looking at probably 18 million now. These statistics are growing quite rapidly. And South Africa is a Facebook country. A lot of the people are on Facebook. This is one platform that any business or every business should have as part of their social media strategy. You cannot afford not to be on Facebook. Twitter, not so much people are on Twitter. You're still looking at about 8 million. But again, all these platforms are designed to work differently. And, you know, when we manage social media platforms for a client, we manage them all differently. You've got a different market that's using Facebook. You've got a different market that will be using Instagram. But ultimately, you want to actually be exposed to each and every one of these platforms, because your potential client can be in any one of these platforms. So again, it's very important looking at these statistics. If you're a business based in South Africa today, you know, you are quite favored. You know, instead of using all these traditional platforms that you cannot measure, today you can invest a lot of your revenue in digital platforms and get a lot more return on investment. And I'll share to you some of the key benefits of it during the course of the presentation. So one of the key things that, you know, next presentation, please, program director, one of the key things that we highlighted, a lot of businesses who obviously want to know, is digital marketing the right platform for my business? Now, we did a study. I don't know if it's not showing correctly on your side, because on my side, those figures, okay, but at least it's showing the 12%. We're just going to take a typical analysis that was conducted a year ago on the social media effectiveness for businesses today. It was 2018. Now, 12% of social media users were effective users. 43% of social media users were ineffective users. So basically meaning a lot of them had their profiles, but, you know, they were not posting consistently. Some of them had not posted for quite often. Some of them are not spending quite a lot of time building their online community. Some of them, they post but do not react or respond to some of the comments that are happening. You know, and this tells you on the level of knowledge some individuals or some companies would have as far as utilizing or using these platforms effectively. 45% of those were saying, excuse me, we're getting there. Meaning, you know, there's work in progress. We are learning how to use these platforms, but we are not there yet. Now, if you combine the two, getting there and ineffective users, that's a very huge margin. So there's still quite some room for a lot of businesses to actually start using these platforms correctly. Now, what is more important for small businesses when you start opening those social media pages for your business, when you start building the website, it's very important to understand your customer behavior. Now, again, you might be selling products that, you know, your customer is not really much of a social media a person. It's very important to understand, is your customer a person who, you know, is largely involved in social media? Even if they are, which platforms would they most likely go into? Some businesses do not need Twitter. Some business would not need a YouTube platform. Some businesses will not need an Instagram platform. So it's very important to understand your customer behavior. How do they behave online? And one of the exercises that we do, we take one of our clients' customers, and we actually go through their social media and get to understand what do they like, the posts that they like, the kind of content that they actually publish. That gives you a clear picture of your customer and your ideal customer and your behavior. It's very important to understand your competitors. And again, when we actually build websites and social media for our customers, we have a one-on-one session with the business owner where we get to understand their competitors. Your competitors and your industry leaders give you an idea of how to actually set up a good strategy for your own business. Now, again, you're not going to use the same strategy as your competitors. Uniqueness is very important, but at the same time, you've got to be aligned to industry trends. If you've got industry leaders that have been doing this for quite some time, and you want to actually be an industry leader as well, it's very important to learn from them, but at the same time, come up with your unique strategy. Again, your goals are very important. Whenever you dive into your social media or the digital marketing channels, highlight some of your goals. It's very important, whether you just want to increase your sales, whether you want to increase your the number of customers that you're going to target. Some of the goals are just basically, I just want to increase my brand reputation online. Some of the goals may include, maybe I just want to focus on getting my brand out there. So it's very important to list all the benefits that you want so that you'll be able to put through the KPIs that will assist you measure those goals. Now, the benefits which we'll cover, it's very important to focus on the benefits. There's a lot of companies that go online and we'll highlight one of the key and the most important benefits of being online. But when we work with businesses, you find that they'll dive into digital marketing platforms, but because they get sidetracked with all the risks and negative aspects of social media. And I'll tell you, there's a pharmacy that we assisted, we managed their social media last year. One of the reasons why they stopped using social media was the fact that somebody posted a very negative comment. So he posted a product that he's selling that's going on promo, and somebody said that product is sold at 50 Rand cheaper at a pharmacy. It clicks across the road. And for him, he just stopped using social media. Now, that was just a simple comment, which we'll discuss at a later stage how you deal with negative comments. But those are some of the things that you should not really sidetrack you or make you feel that, what, let me rather not on social media. It happens. You just need to know how to respond to it. And in many cases, the negative comments that you get on these platforms are the ones that make you gain a lot of trust. Because if you are able to convert that negative comment into something positive, you win a lot of trust with your comments, with your audience. So it's very important, again, to understand how to use these platforms. Whether you want to actually outsource or do it in-house, there has to be some sort of strategy behind it. Next slide, program director. So again, one of the things that we discuss with small business, there's quite a lot of options. And today, the internet has actually made a lot of things much more easier for us. There's a lot of courses that are available online. In as much as there's options for you to actually outsource some of this, you can also get some courses online which will actually teach you some of the basics around the importance of being online. So again, how does it benefit your business? A lot of people, sit, and say, yes, I like the idea of using social media. I like the idea of getting a website for my business. But how does it really benefit my business? For companies like us, which run digital marketing agencies, I think, things like COVID-19 have been a bit of an advantage for us because we now get quite a lot of small businesses that come through to us and say, look, I can't move. I can't do anything. I can't sell my business. And how do I actually take my business to online platforms? But these are the benefits of it. One, you get the right leads. And when I say that, if you're posting an advert on Facebook or any other, whether it's on Google AdWords, the tools that are available online allow you to actually trace down how many people are responding to your ad. So it guarantees that you get the right leads rather than putting an advert on a billboard. You don't know how many people actually see that billboard. In many cases, while somebody is driving past, they're not really noticing that billboard. So there's not much of measure as far as how many people are actually seeing your advert. But with platforms such as social media, Facebook, you put an advert and you want to actually reach so many people, it gives you exactly how many people that advert reached. And you are able to actually utilize some of that information in terms of putting them into your sales funnel and converting some of those people into clients. Again, traffic engagement. Now, the minute you start getting these platforms up and running, instead of getting that traffic into your store, into your retail outlet, you're now getting the traffic onto your website, your traffic onto your social media pages. And a lot of pages that you find that the minute the admin posts something, you're looking at posts, comments that are ranging from 100 to 500. And you ask yourself, how does he get time to actually respond to all these comments? But that's the traffic that you look for. Because when you sell all your products online, you want people to engage. The whole idea behind having the likes of social media is to actually publish engaging content that will allow your audience to actually want to come back and look at your page. And we've made typical scenarios such as, simple things such as what made the likes of Ayadini, the page gets so famous. And it's simple things such as the walk that the photo that gets taken by the cameraman the minute you step into the premises. There was quite a very big hype. And the one thing that made a lot of people want to actually go to the place is aspects like that. And those are some of the simple things that actually results in traffic engagement into your social media pages. Come up with something different and push those elements into your social media platforms. Now, again, the minute you start getting traffic onto those platforms, you need to convert that traffic. Start getting those conversations going with your customers. You might post a garment that you're selling if you're a fashion brand. If somebody asks a question, whether it's size, what size do you offer, what colors do you offer, or whether you've selling products, food essentials, people will ask questions when you post something online. It's very important to actually start that conversation, because when you start a conversation, you're actually teaching quite a lot of people that we're also going to ask some of those questions. Now, the nice thing again about these social media platforms and the online platforms, everything is there. So you're not in a situation where if somebody wants to ask a question, they don't know where to start. In many cases, somebody going through your social media Facebook page will get all the answers. They don't need to come to your store. And when they get all the answers, it actually persuades them to shop your products. Again, once you have that conversation, it increases into net promoters. If people talk good about your business, they talk good about the content that you're publishing on your social media platforms, they talk good about your website, they talk good about your e-commerce store, and they talk good about the security of buying online, they become your promoters. And they talk good, they share your pages, they tell everybody about your social media strategy. And in essence, you want to have the right acquisitions. I've seen a lot of marketing efforts, a lot of money gets spent, and you find that they don't acquire the right people. And you're able with digital marketing platforms to say exactly who are the people that you're looking for. I mean, there was a time where we had a training session and we put an advert out on Facebook ads. For a simple 300 rand that we put an ad out, we were very specific on where we want the ad to actually reach, and very specific on who are the people that we want the advert to reach. And some of these platforms, you've got to be very specific. That's why you find a lot of sponsored ad that you see in your social media feed, and they don't have any likes. They weren't really specific on their target audience. You've got to be specific where you want the ad to go, and that will make you have the right acquisitions. And the minute you have the right acquisitions, you are making sales. So there's a lot of benefit in digital marketing. And for any entrepreneur, I would advise that you start maybe redirecting some of your traditional marketing budgets, if you have, into these digital marketing platforms, because those are the platforms that will give you real statistics and give you proper return on investment. Next page, please, Dennis. So one of the questions and one of the key things that I was asked to just highlight, where do I start as a business? A lot of us will probably ask ourselves, okay, I like the idea and I don't have any strategy around social media. I don't have any strategy around digital marketing. So where do I start? Now, I always say to every entrepreneur that we work with, anything that you do starts with goals. You got to understand why you're doing what you're doing. So if you want to actually start your digital marketing strategy, what are your goals? Do you want to increase sales for your products? Do you want to increase sales for your services? And again, you got to understand some of the dynamics around the different countries that we work with. And I used to work in retail. I used to actually work in retail, managing one of a very big retail outlet in South Africa. Managed one of their stores in KZN, quite a lot of stores here in KZN. Now, one of the challenges that we had there, you're talking 4 years ago, only 3% of our sales were coming through online platforms. And that's a very low figure. I mean, if you look at UK, they get as far as up to 70% of their sales. I mean, a company like August that sells kids' toys, up to 70% of their sales today are coming through their online platforms, which actually shows the seriousness of people going onto these online platforms. But again, that's what I said, South Africa is going to get there. It's just probably a matter of time and trust around these platforms. And the minute we have, much more bigger access to these platforms, data prices becoming much more cheaper, you'll find that people are now going to start using these platforms and trusting these platforms. So it's very important to understand your goals. If you want to have an improved company image, if you want to just connect with your customers, a lot of people will use social media for different purposes. I'm a service-based business, so I just use social media to showcase what the business does. Not really a goal to convert. If I do convert, that's okay. But my services a lot rely on referrals. A lot of businesses that do services, a person who's experienced the service will give a good referral rather than advertising. So my system works, but social media helps a lot in terms of if somebody wants to get to know, okay, does this guy really understand his business? Does he understand digital marketing? If they go to my website, they'll be able to see, okay, if they go to a social media, they'll be able to see, and it just showcases some of the things that we do. Number two is it's very important to understand what is appropriate for your business. Again, I mentioned this earlier on. Your customer demographics and your customer profile will determine which social media platforms do you need. Do you need online presence, such as a website? Do you need an e-commerce store? And again, does your target market already engage in these platforms? It's no use going on social media and your target market does not understand Instagram, does not understand Twitter. There's quite a lot of social media platforms that are obviously used in other countries that we don't use. It's very important to understand which ones are used. So that is the next step. The third step is to obviously understand the resources that you have as a business. And I'll make this a typical example. Not every person who's an entrepreneur is a marketer. Not every person who's an entrepreneur is a finance guru. Every person has got their own specific speciality, and every business specializes in certain things. Now, you've got to be able to understand what resources do you have within your business. Can you afford to hire a dedicated social media specialist or social media analyst? Can you afford to hire somebody, an intern, to oversee your marketing? And again, these are the next set of jobs that are coming in the future. I was just having a look at some of the recruitment agencies that we have across the country, especially in provinces like Cape Town and Joburg. Before the lockdown, there's already recruitment agencies that focus on digital marketing. there's not much in Durban. So, it actually tells you we're still quite a very growing province as far as digital marketing is concerned. We've obviously had quite a lot of challenges when, conferences are put in place and you don't get a lot of people that come through. But again, these are some of the new set of skills that are coming through with um, 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 the fourth industrial revolution as far as digital marketing is concerned. You're looking at, in future, people coming into your business as social media interns, social media managers, digital marketing managers. But to understand, before to hire one or a lot of companies use like us, which are agencies. Every company will probably have their one internal candidate who looks at marketing, but they'll outsource all this marketing functions. That obviously ranges from creating your strategy, marketing strategy, doing your online social media audit, obviously just incorporating that whole digital marketing strategy for your business. Now, once you've understood your resources that are available, you need to start getting up and running. Don't wait for, Lord knows how long. You've got to start getting involved. The only way you can actually get those pages up and running is if you start. And you'll obviously learn along the way. And one of the things that we highlight, social media is very simple. It's a platform for you to share content. And it's just sharing content. Content can be in the form of text. Content can be the form. A lot of us are sitting today in a webinar. Those are some of the things that we can share. Videos, pictures that we get involved in on a day-to-day basis. But whenever you share some of these things, the whole idea behind marketing is to actually not just persuade somebody. You want to solve problems. And if you are seen as a thought leader, if you're seen as a person who solves problems, people are going to actually love your brand more. So you want to go into these platforms, not the mentality of, I'm a sales. People are probably tired of getting sales messages across all their platforms every day, saying this 49.99. There has to be some sort of psychology around your content that you put for all these platforms, psychology around your website. It has to actually show a person that you're an expert in your field. If you're a fashion store, they have to see that you're an expert in terms of quality, in terms of price, and so forth. So in anything that you share, it's got to be educational. Again, if you're running a fashion store, if you're in IT, you got to showcase, maybe teach people about the most important aspects of IT. If you are doing networking and cabling, how do you actually teach somebody? How do you bring information that will be informative and educative to the audience so that they want to actually follow your pages? And that is the most important elements. If somebody trusts you, if somebody sees an expert in you, they'll shop your products. But if you're driving content that's focused on selling your selling your products, they don't see any value in your services. And the only thing is just the price. What value am I getting? You need to drive that effectively. So again, create your content. Once you start these platforms, whether it's a website, social media, there's two aspects. You've got to be able to create your content. You've got to be able to distribute your content. There's a lot of people that are very good in terms of creating content. When it comes to distributing content, it's a bit of a challenge. It has to balance. Sometimes it might take a bit long to actually start distributing your content because you want to get the content creation right. But you just have to go with the flow and make sure that it eventually happens. The only way people get to know about your products if you start distributing your content. So I'm sure everybody who's sitting today and listening to the webinar, the first thing they'll do when they're done with it, with the webinar, is share on social media that we were taken through some of the key benefits of digital marketing, and that is what social media is about. So next page, please, Program Director. What are the benefits of digital marketing? I think I still got about 10 minutes. Okay. What are the benefits of digital marketing? And again, we've compared traditional marketing a lot with digital marketing. And it's very important to highlight that once you're involved in digital marketing, there's personal contact with your audience. And it's not a matter of physical content. You know, we were just having another debate with some parents a while ago, and they're saying, you know, the kids of today, they're not as social as we were back in the day. If every time you with your kids, the only thing they're busy with is their cell phones. You know, it's not like before. We used to actually go out, spend quite a lot of time with our friends, playing outside. On weekends, we are with friends. We never had such nice technology that we can just sit all day and get exposed to. And, you know, the funny thing is, they are more social than ever. The only difference is it's not physical socializing. They're now using online platforms, your WhatsApp, your Facebook. Nobody's sitting on a cell phone today not being social. Today, they're probably chatting with somebody online, whether it's Facebook, whether it's WhatsApp, they're posting something online, and that's the purpose behind them sitting on that cell phone. So again, once you have these platforms, there's personal contact. You might not be able to see the other person on the side and be able to speak physically, but you're able to get that message across same time. If somebody sends a message, you receive it same time, you're able to actually reply to that message across. And it goes back to some of the things that we were talking about. When we do a social media audit for some of our clients, you find that a customer asked something in their platform a year ago. They haven't responded to that. And it goes back to your reputation. If you're putting something online and somebody sends a response or somebody says nice, a simple compliment, and you don't respond, it will not make somebody else put a comment onto your post. It will basically make people not even want to like your posts. So that content is very important. Now, there's a holistic brand image. Before, we never had these platforms where people can actually see, you know, the brand itself. You know, I was just chatting to a friend of mine who's got a business. They're about to actually start a huge supermarket retailer. So the logo has been developed, the branding is up and running. You know, and I was just saying, now you got life. You know, got life into the small business that you're building. You know, once you have the brand image up in place, you've put life onto the small baby that you've started. Now, the minute you start getting this into your online platforms, you build a website. That's where the holistic brand image comes in. People now get to understand, to get to understand your products. They get to know more about your business. They don't need to come to Durban to get to know about your business. That's how it used to be before. It's with a click, social media platforms, the only thing they need to have is data. Again, that is the target market. We spoke about advertising. We spoke about the social media aspect. But now start social media platforms for the clients that I work with. You start a social media page with 0 followers. Now, again, you look at every personality across the world, every celebrity across the world, somewhere along the line, they started with 0 followers. You start with 0. But at the same time, you build your audience slowly but slowly. You've got to be precise in your target market. You cannot afford to be building your audience based on people that you don't need. You've got to be sure that these are the people that are a potential target market. And again, on social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, sometimes after a bit of time, you get to a stage where you refresh and do a refresh on your social media audit. You might have to not follow some of the people that you used to follow because they're not really your ideal target market. So it's an exercise that you need to continuously do. You can't be in a position where you open these platforms, you have your website that's up and running, and your analytics, your Google Analytics, that's basically some of the softwares that we use to trace how many people are coming onto your website. If your analytics are telling you that you're not getting traffic onto your website, it could be that your target market is not precise. Again, digital marketing is easy to use. It's much more cheaper. If you're putting an advert on TV today, you're looking at anything from 60,000 all the way, you probably even more than 200,000. Prime time, 30-second advert, it's quite a lot of money. But if you had to take that same budget and put it into your digital platforms, that allows you to actually channel that advert to the right people. So instead of you spending money in that advert, you don't know how many people were watching that TV channel. You don't know if that person, the target market, was actually listening at that particular time. While I'm watching Generations, there's adverts going on. I'm quickly going to the kitchen to get something to eat. Come back, I haven't seen your ad. With digital marketing, if I'm putting an advert on Facebook, it's there the whole week. It just comes onto different people's feeds and they see your advert. They respond to it. You just got to make sure that it's executed correctly, eye-catching, and it makes the person react to it. Again, being online is vital today. We discussed it before we start. If you look at the way of business, of doing business in the future, is through online channels. We were just in a webinar, a Vodacom session yesterday, where Vodacom was actually discussing some of the solutions that they have for small businesses. It's very exciting stuff that they are coming up with, the sponsorships and the partnerships that they've got involved with the Department of Education. So this is where the future is actually going. A lot of the things that we are getting involved in now. There's an FET college that I'm helping in terms of marketing, digital marketing, and we have no option but to actually use online platforms. Kids are not coming to school anymore through social distancing with this COVID-19. So how do you actually now create these platforms online? And once they've been created, how do the students actually get access to it? But without any doubt, it's very vital for any business in the future to actually have these platforms. So next slide, program director. So we've spoken about the benefits, all the nice things about social media, digital marketing, and we don't normally speak about the risks. In one of the sessions that I normally have, I get to actually be more practical and give live solutions on some of the risks that are there, especially around social media. But for businesses, it's very important to understand, once you get into digital marketing, you start opening those platforms, whether it's a YouTube channel for your business to showcase some of your products, whether it's Instagram, whether it's a website. It's very important to know that, the minute you're not consistent, it can really make your company look unprofessional. And you see that across a lot of social media platforms where, they haven't posted in probably a year. When they start posting, you don't know if this person really, wants to do social media or not. You find that they've got a website, but the website is really uncluttered. And in the trainings that we have, I give a scenario of a website that has been developed. I've actually found it online, and the minute somebody goes onto your website, guys, it's very important. If you give somebody that business card that this is who I am and it has your website address, the minute they go to your website, the first impression lost. They have an idea around your business already with the website. So it's very important with that website, with your social media, to look professional. And again, a person can actually think very highly of the business just by going through your website. And a lot of businesses have actually grown just by having strong online presence, a very attractive website, social media pages, the profile is set up stunning, and you find that the business just booms. There's trust. People believe that this is a business I can really trust. Again, visibility can actually act against you. Now, one of the things that we share, it's very important to actually get somebody who's skilled to address some of the comments that your clients will have, especially once you start, the minute you start getting traffic into your platforms. People can actually be very nasty on that. People can actually put comments that will whack you for a six. You don't know how to respond. So it's very important to make sure that you've got a strategy in place and you stick to the strategy, but at the same time, how do you manage your reputation when things don't go well? We've seen scenarios where companies in social media, they always give a typical example, vehicle insurance company, where I think it was Highway, they refused to pay a client for a claim, and the whole thing went onto social media, And that is the importance of social media. The minute something is online, the minute something is trending on Twitter, that particular client, the insurance company came back and actually paid him because social media for him. So again, having that online presence now allows people to actually notify and speak about you. And it's very important for you to actually have your ducks in a row. We teach some of our clients that we work with how to actually handle some of these things. And so it's very important the minute you have a team in place that's in, it's key to actually understand because the risks are very big, but you don't want to focus on these risks. You want to focus on the advantages, and that needs quite a lot of training. Again, you do not have full control of the message that you have. Traditional marketing, if I'm putting an ad on radio, in many cases, it's going boom, boom, boom. Nobody's going to respond, nothing whatsoever. If I'm putting that same advert on TV, just this, nobody has a chance to respond or ask anything. With digital marketing, you put an advert up, people are going to comment. Again, if you're putting something of quality, something that's high catchy, you're not going to have issues. But this time around, you don't have full control of the message that you're putting through. There's comments that are going to come through that are going to make you think, okay. But at the same time, as I said, you've got to have a strategy in place. Now, your target market might not respond to your social media channels. Again, it's not something really to fear. I know a lot of companies, they get involved in this and they find that they post, they don't get reaction. If you don't get reaction, every page started with 0 followers. It just gives you a chance to look at how can I improve? What kind of content is working? I highlighted earlier on the different content that you can share, video, text, and so forth. How do you put good graphics behind your social media posts? How do you put good graphics behind your website? How do you make your website become easy to navigate through? If somebody is actually shopping through my website, is it a hassle-free website? So it's very important to actually understand that some people will not respond to it, to your social media channels, but you just got to keep understanding the reasons and finding and refining your strategy. Now, again, the target market may not respond to all your channels, which we discussed earlier on. Next slide, please, program director. So these are some of the things that you shouldn't really fear. In many cases, you'll find that the minute you have your strategy put in place, the minute you understand some of these things, there's no wrong or right answer. You just need to respond in a way that this is going to be beneficial for my business. There's no running away. You deal with it, and you find that it's very easy to turn something that's negative into something good. Now, this is how you manage your online reputation. This is the last slide. And in many cases, this becomes their worst and biggest fear. How do I actually manage my online reputation once I've gone online? Now, it's very important every time you put something online and somebody responds, whether through a comment or whether through feedback, whether you've got a blog in your website and somebody puts a comment onto your blog, respond with a thank you. And, appreciation goes far. I see a lot of pages that somebody puts a comment and it doesn't get acknowledged. Now, the risks of that is that if you do not appreciate or acknowledge a compliment, that particular person is never going to comment on your posts. And I've seen that happening. So whether the reaction or acknowledgement is just liking the person's comment or responding to the comment, but you've got to show something as an acknowledgement to whatever they put through. Again, promote good comments. We've shared this with some of the clients. There's a lot of strategies that we share with our clients, which in many cases are not very much detail of it. There was just pretty much an overview of digital marketing. But it's very important to share and promote the good comments. Somebody might go to your page and express, I've had very good feedback or very good service from your fashion store. I love the pants that I bought. And they actually put that onto your social media post. Take a screenshot of that. Take a screenshot of it and post it onto your platform and be able to say thank you to this particular person for putting through such a good comment. The minute you actually promote these comments, it makes more and more people put positive comments about your brand. And that's what a lot of businesses fail to do. They fail to acknowledge the good comments that come through. They expect the good comments to come through so much, but when they come through, the little ones, they don't show appreciation. Again, find a way to thank them publicly so that everybody sees it and everybody is able to also be influenced by it. If feedback is negative, again, we've seen a lot of cases where people go online, they get negative feedback, they don't really take it serious. Understand when you go online and you take your business online, whatever feedback that you get, whether it's positive or negative, take it serious. Again, if you need to apologize sincerely or directly to the person, do so. If I apologize, it does not mean I accept guilt. It just basically means that I totally understand your concern and I'm willing to actually meet you halfway in terms of resolving it. And in many cases, the minute you apologize, and I think in many cases, I always say, having worked for a company, retail outlet that, focuses a lot on customer service, by the way, Woolworths, in Woolworths, very customer-centric business. For them, customer first. An apology for a customer goes a long way. And that's why, the brand is still what it is today. Employees get taught. The first thing you do need to do is apologize. Because the minute you make a customer aware or make the customer apologize to a customer, you make them feel that, what, my issue or my problem will be resolved. Now, do never be defensive about a comment or delete it. We always say to people that manage profiles in social media, don't delete a comment, because once it's there, it's up there. There's a lot of people that have already might have seen it. Don't delete it, just deal with it. But try in your utmost best to turn that negative comment into an advantage. You will never always be right. In many cases, somebody will comment or give you feedback on something that's true. You've got to be able to deal with it and give somebody feedback that will make them feel positive about your brand. People judge you based on the feedback. And again, with me, I'm not really worried about how many complaints any business has. A business can have 1 million complaints on a day-to-day basis. If they rectify and they are able to close down on all these complaints on a daily basis and convert that negative comment into something positive, much better than a business that has 10 complaints on a day-to-day basis and they don't resolve any of those complaints. Resolving a complaint for me is much more effective than just ignoring it. So make sure you turn that negative comment into something positive, and it will work in your favor in all these online platforms. The nice thing about it, again, is that everybody's watching. So if you turn this negative comment into something positive, I was just posting something in the FET college 2 weeks ago where I was sharing that students can now go online and go on Google to get all their study material. And somebody commented and said, we don't have any data. How do you expect us to share? And you can't run away from these comments. It's reality. But the response towards it is that, we are still finding a way to help the students that do not have access to data. But for those who have access, please use this. And the response towards me responding to that was much more higher because people love the way I respond to the person. If I decided to keep quiet, people would have felt that, none of our complaints will be taken serious. Right. So last but not least, I think I'll just skip the last one. Program director, if you can just go to the next slide. Now, again, there's massive opportunities in selling your products online. We'll just quickly go through it. Now, taking payments has become much more easier today, taking payments online. There's e-commerce platforms businesses can now get involved in. We shared the use of online platforms, and one of the key partners that I work with, the platforms and the websites that we build today in many cases are e-commerce platforms, because people are building for the future. People are building, if I'm selling masks and I'm selling masks online, how do I deliver masks to different people? But if somebody pays online, I'm able to get my money 2 days afterwards, and I'm able to deliver the products to that particular person, whether I'm using courier services or any other service that I can use. So the use of online platforms allows you today to sell your products not only in your geographical area, not only in your province, not only in your country, but you'll also be able to sell your products globally. So make use of online payment solutions. again, you want to actually build an online order plan. For companies, you need to have a plan in place. How do you get your stock? A lot of companies are now converting their, if I owned a retail outlet, if I owned a retail shop, they're converting that into a storage place. So if I'm utilizing that as storage, somebody orders online from that particular storage, it gets delivered to the person, the money is in. So again, it's important to understand how do you actually get those facilities in place before you have your online store up, because the minute you start getting a lot of orders and you don't have these supply chain channels set up in place, it can be very detrimental to your business. You find that people are placing orders, they're not getting any orders. Okay, so build your brand online, and then again, once you have the brand existing online, post COVID-19, the brand is active online, it becomes much more easier for you to now get back into the retail space. You know, there were quite a lot of fashion brands that I was listing in terms of their digital marketing strategy. Today, you don't want to open a store into physical premises because it becomes a bit more risky. There's overheads that you need to pay. There's a lot of expenses that you need to pay from owning a shop. But if you have an e-commerce platform, you reduce some of the risks. You get the brand known in all your online platforms, and it becomes much more easier for you when you tell people that the store has been open in West Street, the store has been open in Cape Town, the store has been open in Ghana. It's easier for them to go directly to the store. So again, expanding globally, it's very important. We've assisted quite a number of businesses in terms of how do they market their products outside of South Africa. Understand your business and understand the business that you're doing. If I'm wanting to put an advert in Ghana, I've got to understand my business. Is there a market in Ghana? And once I understand the market, is there language barrier? If I'm my dominant language for the business that I'm is Zulu, isiZulu. isiZulu is not there in Ghana, so I'd have to obviously use. Facebook allows you to actually change and translate into an origin, a language of origin. So you want to actually put an advert out that has a language that's spoken dominantly within that particular area. Validate the market that you're going to be sending that advert out, because today I'm able to actually put an advert on social media, Facebook, put an advert on Google that will be directly for people in Ghana. It will not go to people that are in South Africa, but it will just go to people that are based in Ghana. That's how wonderful these tools have become. Again, that's advertising cross-border. You're sitting in South Africa and you're putting an advert across to a different country. People respond online, you navigate them through the sales channel, and they become your clients. You've got to have a clear strategy on how to deliver to customers across borders. Again, there's quite a lot of complexities across our borders, so there has to be a strategy. It's no use putting an advert out into Namibia, Swaziland, when people ask for your product. You don't have a plan in place as far as how to get the product to the different countries. So the last but not least, thank you again for the time that has been given to me. I just think I went just ahead. One of the things that I just wanted to share lastly before I leave, digital marketing is going to be very critical for every business today. Last slide, Program Director. So the rules that we set out for a lot of small businesses when they go out, listen. It's very important to listen when you start taking your business online. Respond timelessly. It's very important to be able to respond, because the minute you publish content, you're expecting people to respond. And the minute people respond via comments, you got to be able to respond as well, so that you start those conversations. The minute I have a conversation with a brand, I feel, oh, okay, I got a comment from this company. So it's very important to respond. The third one, be honest. People love honesty. So when you go to these online platforms, be honest. People will love you for your honesty. And last but not least, stay relevant. Relevance is the most important aspect of any company that goes on social media. I spoke about your industry leaders, keeping up to date with trends, keeping up to date with companies that do similar services to you. The key is to stay relevant. You can't be doing something that's totally off to what your competitors are doing, what your industry leaders. But having said that, thank you so much again for giving our company a chance. And one of the things that I did want to actually offer, we do offer small businesses after training sessions, consultation vouchers for 30 minutes. We are there to actually assist a lot of small businesses, especially with the time that we have COVID-19, our businesses working from home. So for any business that's really interested in just trying to identify some of the opportunities that they can actually tap into, we are available to actually assist. Please let the program director know, and they will give me those people's contacts. We'll then set up arrangements of how do we actually contact them and have those consultation vouchers there free. And obviously through technology, things like Zoom, we'll be able to sit down with that entrepreneur and actually assist them. So it's absolutely free to that particular business. We'll listen to your concerns, and we'll be able to give you some simple strategies of how you can actually use them to improve your business. Thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your day. I hope everybody takes good care of themselves during this COVID-19 times that we are going through. And just make sure that you keep those social distancing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jerome. Could you please still stay on camera, just so we can communicate on a few more things before we close off. We see Ndu has joined us. Welcome, Ndumiso, who will be presenting next. I just want to know something quickly, Jerome, before we release you, because I can't see any questions here on Facebook or on YouTube. So the one thing I wanted to know is you did speak about the difference between the social medias, like how LinkedIn would be different to YouTube and Facebook and so forth.
Yeah.
If you just go quickly, just elaborate on. Just give me a second. Quickly, I just want to make sure that I have you pinned on the screen here. There we go. So yeah, I don't want to show while I'm speaking. So I just wanted to know, because of the different social media, how would you advise people, just in general, just an overview in terms of how they can utilize, or the difference rather, on how they can utilize Twitter versus, or rather, let's say Facebook versus Instagram. How would you, for one organization, how would you think about handling the content for those two different platforms? Although they're owned by one company in the back end, we know that, but we understand that the audience demographic and the way they interact with the content is very different.
Yeah. Okay, very, very nice question, very interesting question. In the session that we are going to have at a later stage, I want to actually, there's an image that I want to share that actually is much more detailed. It tells you exactly what each and every one of these platforms are going to replace as far as traditional media is concerned. But the difference in a nutshell, Facebook is the most widely used platform. For small businesses, you cannot afford not to have Facebook. Now, again, as I said, Facebook South Africa is a Facebook country. Twitter, on the other hand, replaces a lot of your media news agency. That is where you get up to date with current affairs, what's happening right now. That's why you'll find in many cases people go on Twitter to find what's trending, what's happening across the country, what's happening in my geographical environment, what are the things that are spoken about a lot more. But obviously, if you're going in as a business, you'll go in with different goals, and you obviously have different following. It's very important to understand as a business, who is your target market? Which social media platforms do they prefer? Instagram is totally different to Facebook. A lot of people, one of the fastest growing platforms, I must say, Instagram, it's actually growing much more quicker than Twitter. More and more people are starting to use Instagram based on the features that they have. And the likes of obviously sharing your status, sharing Instagram stories, Those are some of the trends that we've seen a lot in 2020 Instagram stories. So businesses are now tapping into Instagram. The quality of Instagram. Instagram, for me, I prefer using Instagram a lot more than Facebook, because you get a much more wider reach on Instagram than Facebook. So if you're putting up quality images in your Facebook accounts, Facebook promotes your page, promotes your post. But it works pretty much the same in all the platforms, but I find Instagram much more effective and much more efficient when it comes to that. LinkedIn is a bit more different. Again, when we open these platforms, we deal with LinkedIn at a later stage, because it's not widely used as used as other platforms. The whole purpose around LinkedIn is a social media platform for professionals. So you're not going to find a lot of people there. People use LinkedIn, job seekers, a lot of recruitment agencies are looking for at LinkedIn today to find potential candidates. And if you are running a business as an entrepreneur, you want to connect with your professionals, your company CEOs, your executives. Most likely they are going to be on LinkedIn. Now, a lot of people are trying to run away from Facebook because of the traffic that's gone on Facebook, right? There's so much of traffic on Facebook. It's the most widely used. Everybody's on Facebook. So a lot of people have just shifted to rather, if I'm a professional and I want to strictly focus on the professional aspect of my life, I'd actually rather focus on LinkedIn. So in a nutshell, I'd want to spend a lot of time detailing the difference between all of them, because there's a lot of characteristics that you have. For example, if you've got your Facebook page, if you're running a business, you can't use a personal profile. You've got to have a personal profile, but have a business page on that profile. So there's a lot of pros and cons within each and every platform. Twitter, on the other hand, you'll find that there's a lot of people that are not available on Twitter. Instagram, again, one of the key negative aspects about Instagram is the data that's charged onto Instagram. YouTube, a lot of people who don't have data. So if your target market is a person who really doesn't have enough data on a day-to-day basis, you want to not really focus on those platforms as such, but rather focus on Facebook. So I'd really like us to really have a discussion around it. I hope it just briefly answers your question around it. For entrepreneurs, there's no wrong or right. I always advise open offer. They work differently, and how we work with a lot of the clients that we have. Push the same content, publish the same content when you start onto all these platforms. And you'll find that as time goes on, the minute you get to a third or fourth month, you'll then discover that, at this platform, this is how people are responding to this platform. Is this content that I'm publishing on this platform working? And with that, you'll actually formulate your strategy. And I can tell you in 6 months' time, after 6 months, you'll be able to have different strategies for all different platforms, because they're all not the same.
Okay, thanks, Jerome. And I just have one more for you, right? So I'm an SMME, right? I'm in a place like Etandi, Eshowe, those type of towns, right? I'm in a small town. I'm in Richmond. I need to start. I don't really have a lot of money. My town doesn't have a strong economy, but I want to start on social media. I don't have a physical store. I offer services. Maybe now and again I work with the municipality and the other small business people, but I don't have a strong budget for a digital presence. Where should I start? Should I invest more on social media, or should I invest in building a website? Say I have 3,000 Rand or I have 1,500 Rand. Where should I put that 1,500 Rand? And then maybe how should I best utilize it? Should I get the cheapest website designer in the planet to build me a one-pager? Or do I go to social media routes? And then what do I do with my one? Because social media won't cost me money to put up. I can't afford a social media manager, all of that. I'm myself, but I have my phone. I can take pictures. I can make some basic designs using PowerPoint, export to a JPEG. I have the very simple basic skills. I'm not operating on a high level in terms of creating content, but I can shoot a video, post it on these platforms. Data's, I'm not too bad, but I don't have a lot of money. I have a budget of 1,500 Rand for digital presence. Where you think I should start?
Right. Okay. Thanks for the question again. Now, one of the things that I always say to entrepreneurs, in many cases, marketing is very important. And if you're running a business, for you to make money, you need to market the business. But obviously, you got to understand, you starting a business without any capital, you got to find yourself in those types of situations. Between social media and a website, I would go website. And purely because social media is easy to open. Once you have those platforms up and running, you can operate those platforms yourself. It will obviously need quite a lot of learning. And as I shared earlier on, there's two ways. It's either you outsource it to an agency, which will take money off your pocket, or you do it yourself, which will take time off your hands. And when it takes time, it might take a bit of time for you to get to know how to do it properly. So as an entrepreneur, you need to balance the two. But if you had a budget of 1,500, for example, I would definitely start by going and designing a website, because when people want to get to know about your business, the first thing they will do is go on Google and search about your business. Google is a search engine. Social media is today now a search engine as well. If people want to get to know anything, they go on Twitter, they go on Facebook. So all these two channels, both these channels are search engines today, but the one that is most likely going to be used first, if somebody wants to know about your business, is Google. So you want to have the website up and running first and foremost. Within the website, you got to have your social media integrated into your website. So once you have the 1.5 and you go to somebody and can build your website, very cheaply, they got to integrate social media. And you have to probably also try and operate social media platforms yourself. Your business is able to get a revenue to actually push through to marketing. But then again, once the business starts generating revenue, I always say to entrepreneurs, invest money into marketing. So it's not just about profit. The only way your business can grow, the only way your business can go in clients is through marketing. And if you're getting revenue coming in, but it's not redirected back into marketing, even if it's a little bit, you got to know where it's going, and where it's got to actually give you more returns. So I would not, with any doubt, hesitate to start with a website if I'm a small business owner.
Okay, thank you very much, Jerome. Thanks for making yourself available to the STEAMIE platform. And I definitely look forward to seeing you again on this platform where we can deep dive in social media. Yeah, I know on my side, I have a different view of a website versus a social media in starting. But I think maybe we can have debate rather on the principles of the two at another stage. I think maybe after your social media presentation, we can look at the two and battle of ideas, just so that people have options also and see different views and choose the one that makes sense for them. Because obviously it's not a perfect world, and we'll never be able to really get it right at the first time. But yeah, I fully appreciate your presentation. It shows a lot of insight in the industry and understanding it. My last question, though, will be: I just did I just finished my marketing degree. I can't find work. I get help from my older brother or friends or whatever. My parents helped me set up a company, and I have the basics of understanding. I've never done anything for anyone, and I'm really interested in focusing purely in digital marketing. What are the steps that I need to do, or the steps that I need to take to ensure that I'm able to at least start a career in digital marketing and then grow from there? What are my first steps? What should my first 100 days look like as a budding digital marketer who's getting into the industry. I'm new. I only know practical from school. I understand social media. I socialize. I post. I do all of that stuff there. I have a glimpse understanding of the differentiation, but I really need to start. I need to render services to anybody. But I don't have a client now. I'm registered. I have my bank account. I'm good to go now. I don't have a client. What are the steps that I need to take to get in now to the industry?
Okay. So you got a degree, marketing degree, and you want to get into the field of marketing, start your business, and you're not obviously looking at getting employed by someone. There's two options. Obviously, if you're looking at getting employed, you can either work. There's a lot of opportunities that are coming in as far as digital marketing is concerned in the future. So you're not looking at professionals that are just marketers. There's a lot of focus around digital marketing. But if you decide to go the route of becoming an entrepreneur, I started marketing as well. I studied traditional marketing back in the day at Durban University of Technology, right up until studying my BTech in marketing. The reason why I decided to start digital marketing and study digital marketing at UCT in 2018 was, the world is moving into a digital era, and digital marketing will be more relevant in the future than traditional marketing. And we're not saying completely forget about traditional marketing, but digital marketing is something that any marketer should be able to know. So once you start your business, once you decide to start your business, which I would advise anyone who's got a marketing background to start your business. Why do you want to work for someone? There's a lot of retrenchments that are happening today. At the same time, there's opportunities for you to start an agency, because there's a lot of businesses out there today that need these services. Businesses that need websites, businesses that need social. There's a lot of companies that are on social media, but they don't know how to use social media, which is what I covered. Now, the first 100 days of your career, you need to know exactly what your service offering is. You need to work on your business, and you need to work on just refining some of the services that you're going to be offering. Now, again, digital marketing is big, it's huge. There's quite a lot that you can offer with web design. You can offer search engine optimization services, developing the website, social media, email marketing, running email marketing campaigns for your client. It's quite huge. It's very complex. So you need to identify where's your area of speciality. We specialize in social media. We specialize in web design. In as much as we do websites, but we specialize a lot more in web design. So identify your key area that you say, this is where my area of speciality is, and then be able to have maybe other services that you offer. Like in our case, we do training. So once I started a couple of years ago with the digital marketing agency. Afterwards, they popped up an opportunity to do training. And having received and got my first client, corporate client to do training for, that was the first opportunity. And you're now looking at going up to and approaching different other companies and saying, look, this is the training that I'm doing for this company, the enterprise development program. And that training consists of about 60 entrepreneurs that we do training across different provinces. Starting a business is not easy. Starting a digital marketing agency is not easy. A lot of the digital marketing agencies, good ones, you'll find that they're in specific areas, especially in Durban. So you obviously need to look at what are they doing, and how do you actually offer something that's aligned to what those industry leaders are doing. And thereafter, once you're done working with your business, as an entrepreneur, you need to go out and find business. But without any doubt, there's a need. There's a market need. There's a lot of small businesses. There's a lot of corporates that need these services. So without any doubt, if you're an entrepreneur, if you've got the skill, start your business.
No, thank you very much, Jerome.
No, thank you very much, Jerome.
Very informative. Yeah, so I'd like to prepare Undumi. So come on board now and talk about Registrar and being a domain reseller and a registrar. Dumiso is also a PBICT member.
Is also a PBICT member and
KZN leadership. There we go.
There we go.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. Let me mute the mic.
Jerome, let me mute mic.
Oh, you can mute it for me, please, if you don't mind, Jerome. And could you please put your mic on for me?
I'm here.
Okay, lovely, lovely. Okay, just give me a second. I just need to, you know, when you program director and technical, it becomes quite crazy here. Awesome. Okay. I think let me. Okay, just give me a second here. There we go. We should be seeing some different. There we go. That's lovely. Okay, so I'd like to welcome Undumiso, who will be going over how to become a domain registrar and reseller. It's a very important industry because we only know of a few people where we can buy a domain. The beauty of a domain is getting a digital address, as Jerome has explained to us, is that the importance of a physical address and your digital address, those two are very important, especially if you have a brick and mortar business and you have an office. Having those two will be important. So Ndu has that knowledge, you know, of how do you get into the space of selling digital addresses, because these are also important. These are much easier to acquire, much easier than having an office or a shop. So if you want to build an online shop, but you don't want to build a front-end shop, you'd first go to someone like the people at Ndumiso will be talking about. You get your address, then you go to people like Jerome and say, Jerome, I have an address. I need a website now so I can start selling the arts and crafts that I do. I make beadwork. I make a variety of artwork, or I manufacture something. I'm not interested in opening a front-end store, so I want to have a strong digital presence. So these are the steps you'll take. So Dumiso will just rewind us back into the importance of this industry. He'll walk us through what it means to be a registrar, what it means to be a reseller of domains, and then someone then who's interested in that particular field within the digital economy could then come in and start that and work alongside someone like Jerome and say, hey, if I have clients who register, I can refer them to you, Jerome, so you can help them build a website and help them with digital marketing. But I'll ensure that they have emails, I'll ensure they have all of these things, all of the functionalities that they need. You will make sure that they have them. So I'd like to introduce Undu, and you'll take over. Let me remove myself from here. Do you have a presentation?
Yes, I do.
I think go live with your presentation, and then yeah, I can switch my video off. Thank you.
Okay, can you switch it on?
No, you can go. You can share your screen.
Okay, let me share my screen.
No problem.
Okay, let me just.
So obviously you'll explain to them your organization and what it does, and then and how you play a role in this, obviously, before we get in, so the people know who you are.
Okay,
Nazo.
Alrighty. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope we're all good. It's a good day. It's Saturday, and my name is Ndumiso from a company called Bigger Computers, but I'm here as UPPICT member and in KZN. We're going to be talking about how to become a domain registrar or a reseller. So as we understand that we're still on the lockdown and we need to know how to navigate through the lockdown using the digital platforms, as Jerome has spoken about social media or digital marketing. How can you able to make income while you're still on lockdown, during lockdown and after lockdown? How can you able to have something going for yourself and for your family, and just maybe think of something that is different than what you have been doing before? As President Leon used to say, it is very important to city re-engineer, repurpose, and reinvent ourselves, because I think the COVID-19 has forced many businesses to rethink, repurpose, and reinvent themselves so that they're able to go through the storms that they've encountered through the COVID-19 in their businesses, in their families, and in all directions, because in terms of their livelihood has been in jeopardy and or in crisis, some of them. So how do you escape out of these things? And we're in the era which is called 4IR. And how do we position ourselves as small businesses, as professionals, as students? How can we take advantage of the digital economy? How do we take advantage of these opportunities that are out there? You know, there are so many opportunities that we can take advantage of. So as we'll be talking about how to become a domain registrar or reseller, maybe I can just give you a background of myself so that we're able to put this into context. I started as an IT engineer or a technician, repairing computers, fixing here and there for clients, and used to fix my computer for my clients, and connecting internet services, printers, and all those kind of things. And I wasn't aware of this digital economy up until I was introduced myself, because some of the things you get them along the way as you move through your career. Maybe sometimes your path is not straight as you want it to be. Sometimes there are things that just come along the way as opportunities where you can just take advantage of them. So it was the same thing that happened to me, because I studied IT at Varsity College and doing networking. And from there, I worked at ICC as an IT technician, and also moved as an AV technician at ICC. So I got exposed into a lot of things, and also into the digital marketing space, where there was one entrepreneur whose name is Usbo Pungula. He owned a company called Power Vision. So he took me under his wings, and that's where I got exposed into this digital economy, because we started as a support engineer, fixing clients' computers, setting their networks, and all of those things. And also, he also introduced me into domain registration, hosting, emails, and all those kind of things. So that's where I got an opportunity, where I got exposed into this digital economy. And by that time, it was not clear that much to me that this is an opportunity, this is the future. So sometimes we get exposed into opportunities, but we don't see that we're sitting in gold, you know. So and up until such time when one was introduced to PPICT, when one was introduced into Zatna, because I heard about Zatna, but I didn't understand what is a registrar and all those kind of things. So there was workshop that we attended that were hosted by OPP ICT no Zatna. And that's where my eyes popped up when I saw how much people are making in this digital economy. And I started as a reseller because most people, they want to, when they start their businesses, they want the email, they want the domain, you know. So since I had that background, I started as a reseller myself. So I just want to give you an introduction into some of those things before we just go into depth regarding the subjects. What I will do right now, we're just going to move on and just explain some of the concepts and so that you're able to understand what's all right. The introduction, it says there are so many opportunities in the digital economy. Oh, sorry. Just a minute, okay. There's so many opportunities in the digital economy, whereas Black-owned SMMEs can take advantage and enhance South Africa's position as a global leader in the digital economy. It's been said by Uzatna that increasing number of Black youth and SMMEs, which is failing to grasp the opportunities around the digital economy, particularly when it comes to use of big data and Internet of Things, IoT, to innovate and improve productivity. Meaning that there's so many opportunities that are out there that we can position ourselves as small businesses or small Black-owned businesses, and which we're not taking advantage of these things. We're failing to grasp these opportunities around us, around the digital economy. And they call it a digi economy sometimes. So it's very important for us to understand the background of this whole digital economy thing, so that we're able to take advantage and know how to take advantage and how to make more for ourselves, how to build our business around the digital economy. As I said earlier on, the 4IR, Fourth Industrial Revolution, is an era. Everything will be digital. I'm sure we have heard about cryptocurrencies. We have heard about mining. We have heard about a whole lot of things about these things that are happening are changing the world. You know, now we're talking about 5G. You know, those are the technologies that are out there, which one need to position themselves into big data. There's no such thing as something free. People, they normally subscribe into free email accounts. They think it's free. No, it's all about data. It's all about the economy, because when people are creating this thing, they think of the future. So when you sign up for free, they are making sure that you are giving them your data, because you'll be storing your emails, you'll be storing your pictures, you'll be storing all of these things. After that, you find that you are being captured and you have all of your information is in someone's hands. That's why it is very important for us as small businesses, as entrepreneurs, as professionals, as students in the industry. How do we take advantage of these opportunities that are out there? So what is the difference between a reseller and a registrar? A domain registrar is an organization or commercial entity that manages the reservation of internet domain names. A reseller is someone who simply resells the domain registration services. They are not domain name registrants themselves, meaning that there's a difference between a reseller and a registrar. A registrar is an organization that is able to sell or reserve the domains. And you are the one who can register the domains on the registrars. So that means they give you a space where you can register a client's domain. And then you can, from there, you can actually host the domain for the client. So you don't do the administration of, do the administration and everything that's technical behind that. But you are just passing the client to the registrar, but you are in between. We can say you're just a middleman in between the client and the registrar. So there are processes or there are steps that you can take to be a registrar. So it is good to start somewhere because everything has a starting point. You can start as a reseller, but most importantly, what you can do is to start as a reseller, but not just a reseller. What is important, what you need to position yourself into being a reseller, but you need to be a reseller that adds value to your clients. How do you add value to your clients as a reseller? You need to come up with a package. You can package the registration of your domain. And then from once you have packaged that domain, and you can put some services on top of the, not just reserving the name only. You can put emails. You can host emails. You can host a website. You can host other services on top of this domain. So there are many services that you can bundle around this domain name as a reseller, being assisted by a registrar. So, and then you can add something on top of that. So there's a process in this ecosystem. I took this this slide from Uzatna because they call it ecosystem. 5 R's ecosystem of this ISP, because the main aim is for you to be an ISP. At the end of the day, you start as a reseller and you do registration for your clients. And how to become a registrar? We have people like Zatna who are the regulators of this ecosystem. So how do you move from a reseller to be a registrar? So it is a process. There are workshops that are available, which Zatna is normally host these workshops for people to become registrars themselves. Here in cases, and there are few Black-owned businesses which are registrars. Most of us are just resellers. We pass the client to registrars. Then how do we turn that around? You need to have a strategy, as Jerome did mention before, that there is, in a business, you need to have a goal and you need to have a strategy for your business. As for me, I started as a technician, but now I've moved my strategy into be more of someone that will make sure that we are positioning ourselves in this digital economy. So we are moving from being a technician into being an ISP. Now I understand what is being an ISP because I've moved myself from being just a technician. Remember, I talked about by repurposing, reinventing, and re-innovate or reinvent. So because you can see this business model is no more working. So you need to come up with a new business model for you to move from a reseller now, from being a technician and to be a reseller, and then from a reseller to be a registrar. That means you have all the benefits and all the clients are directly linked to you. You're not passing clients to someone else, but you are the one who's administrating everything. So it is very easy, and it's very easy for us to do this. So it is important for you to understand how you do this thing. For myself, I started giving someone who can, because the process sometimes it's very tricky. Sometimes as a business owner, you give as someone who's a reseller and yourself, you are a reseller. That means it's a reseller of reseller to a reseller. And there is only one registrar, but there are a number of resellers. Because why? There were restrictions before for you to become a registrar. And those restrictions have been lifted up. As you know, PPICT is all about access and ownership. So now we want everyone to understand how to have access and ownership to be an ISP. So there are programs that you are running as PPICT to move people from being just technicians to be ISPs, because we need to understand even the infrastructure itself, how to set up an infrastructure for yourself and able to sell services as well, not only just sell domains and emails. No, how to sell data as well. So that's what I was talking about that's what I meant when I was talking about packaging your things or bundling your stuff, because you're adding value to your client, to your clientele, because you understand that it's not only about just selling domains. It's bigger than that, because you are introducing your clients into a digital economy or into a digital presence. Now you are giving them presence. There are social media presence, and there's other online presence. So you introduce your clients in different avenues. I had Jerome talking about e-commerce, how they can make money while they're just sitting at home. How can they make money? Wherever because kubalulekile ukuthi lezi zinto lezi zifinyelele kulabantu abale emakhaya. How do we convert all of these things into making sure that the digital economy, it infiltrates and even get to those people abasemakhaya, abasemalokishini, how they can sell their services and their products while sitting at home, at the comfort of their homes, using the mobile, using their laptops, So it is very important for us to able to how to understand how to access these things, because it's all up to us to make these things, because we have heard about township economy, rural economy, and then how do we turn all these things using the digital tools for us to realize the digital economy, and also in the rural areas, even in the EKASI, how do we make sure that we are the participators? We're not just consumers of data, but we are participating and we are running services and infrastructure that is being run by us. We understand how to have these things and make a difference in other people's life. So we're just gonna take it step by step. We are moving on. As I mentioned before about hosting options, where you can bundle your solutions and also give the right pricing and of your online services, because you understand that you are offering online services. You're not just a reseller of domains and emails, and you are giving your clients value for their money. And you also make them to understand, for them to be to have a credibility. They don't have to use the free email accounts like Yahoo, Gmail, in all other free accounts that are there. For them to be credible, they need to have their own domain names. There is a top level domain name which is .za, and then they can use .co, which is the second domain name, and which is .za, .co.za. So you need to understand, for them to be credible, because it's easy. It's not like .com, because it's more of the commercial and it's expensive, but you can use what is available here in South Africa. So for them to have access into other global players as well, how to sell their services even globally, for them to have an identity using the digital platforms. So as a reseller or a registrar, you are giving them an opportunity for themselves to have an online want to host their services online. Software as a service, you can host it online. As a reseller, you can start selling those options, giving them those options that they can even host their services online. And you can, even the student, they can design or they can program or develop systems that are owned by us. And then we can have our own data center. We're having our own infrastructure, our everything. We are the ones who are running. Yeah? The broadband belongs to us. So it is very important for us to understand the bigger scheme of these things. So it's all about understanding your bundling, because that's you don't just sell one by one, but you put them into just into a package and give them a price that is competitive and other online services. As I said, like services online, software as a service, and you're hosting that, the servers where they run everything in their business, in their infrastructure, voice over IP. We own these things. We need to make sure that we are the ones who are taking advantage of this opportunity. We heard about Internet of Things as well, data, big data. How do you analyze and market and use the big data and able to sell services as well? You know, so how do you make these things happen? Sorry, it's all up to you. You just have to make a decision today and reassess your business, reassess your position, see where you are at the moment. I am a reseller, I am a registrar, where I am in this ecosystem, because you need to know your position in the ecosystem, and then you position yourself in the right direction or in the right way. So for instance, when I started, I was told, you know how to check a domain if it's registered or not, you know? So those are quick things that you can learn, you know, by just checking a domain if it's registered or not. And you just go and type that name of the domain, like PPICT. You check if it's an organization, PPICT. Then it can show, okay, this one has been taken. Maybe you can take another name, use another name, you know? So there are platforms, there are tools that you can use that can enable you to be able to check if your client's domain is taken or not. And those are part of administration of reselling parts and when you start in this industry. Then from there are almost 400 registrars that are registered in South Africa, but there are few Black-owned ISPs. Few Black-owned ISPs, but there are 400. In KZN, maybe there are 2 or 1 which are Black-owned ISPs, which are registrars. Then to Zatna, who has lifted that entrance because there was a fee that you were supposed to pay. I think it was 5,000 Rand. But if you go through the program that they've introduced, and it's easy for you because there's a program that you need to attend for you to become a registrar. So it's something that is doable for you to become an ISP. You need to have an infrastructure as well. So for starters, start as a reseller, identify a registrar that you can use out of these 400 registrars that are up there. Then you can learn from them. They can hold you by the hand. They can, maybe if they have an enterprise development, go ask them if they can hold you by the hand. Because as I said before, I started learning from someone who knew about this opportunity. or who knew about this digital economy of hosting and reselling domains. So there are opportunities that you can use. There are avenues that you can use for you to able to tap into these opportunities that are available out there. And what you need to do is to be part of this ecosystem. The ecosystem in PPICT, there are so many that are out there. And there are groups that are available where we can place you. If you want to be an ISP, there is a group that is directly linked to people who just do ISP and connectors. And there are other groups that you can become part of. And because we want everyone to have access and ownership. President said we need to have access and ownership and expropriate the air now, because this opportunity is like if you own a domain, or if you're a registrar, you're someone like who owns a land, because that's where you can place your clients according to their plots. And then each and every plot, you can charge them for the plots, and they can pay a monthly subscription for using the plot of land. So you will be having a recurring income on a monthly basis. Depends your model, how is your model? It depends on your model that you have set. It's a monthly model, it's an annual model, or you keep on changing it in a quarterly basis. But you look at your strategy and your vision for your business, and then maybe it's from month to month contract, or it's an annual contract. So you'll see how your business works. And then you start introducing services. Then from just registering a domain or just holding a domain for a client, there is an annual subscription for them to have that domain. And then, and secondly, they can host emails, maybe admin at that particular company. sapc.co.za, ppict.org.za, and admin info at that particular company. HR at, you start to understand the basics. How do you set up now? And then you can also set up those emails in their mobile phones, in their laptops as well. So that means you started fixing computer. Now you can host. Now you can set up laptops. You can do email signatures for them. There are people graphics, you can work with graphic designers. So the ecosystem, we're working together in order for us to be in this ecosystem together. And even the social media parts. So driving traffic from the social media to your website, the web traffic. So the social media guy, the digital marketing, they're driving the traffic from digital platforms to your website so that you get queries. Then people start sending emails. Who have done that? You have done that yourself. By understanding the ecosystem, how it works, then you have, now maybe you have 50 domain in your account, and those people are paying you on a monthly basis. Imagine moving from 50 to 100. Maybe let's say they are paying 30 Rand just to host an email. Just imagine 50 emails on a monthly basis, on an annual basis. Maybe you move to 100, depending on your target. You can do your calculations. The more you become a registrar, even the money that you're charging clients, it will be less, because you understand how you use your strategy. There are people who say you can register for free a domain. There's nothing for Mahala in South Africa. We have heard that. Not only in South Africa, we know there's nothing for Mahala, because they know once they have your domain, they have you. So those are different strategies. you know, then you pay a little by little. Maybe instead of charging them a domain, a website, maybe you can say on a monthly basis, we can incorporate a website with a domain. So there are different strategies that you can use in order for you to get your clients on board and start to build a clientele up until you become a registrar where you own an infrastructure. And then you learn a whole lot of things. You'll be like those 400 registrars in South Africa. There's nothing stopping us from doing that. So it's just an easy thing. You start by learning from them. Learning online. There are things that you can learn online, which are free. There's nothing difficult about it. The only thing that you need to ensure that you know is how to administer all of these clients. You know, okay, this one registered this year, and their payment system, the billing system needs to be on par, because you know who owes you. You know how to tackle issues when they're having challenges, you know? So those are the administrative part of things. So you start to understand those things. If they're having a challenge, they don't receive emails, you know? Maybe your registrar, you didn't pay them. Maybe they just suspended your account. So you need to understand those things. And maybe your inbox is full, because why? The space that you allocated your client, it was small. Now they need to upgrade, you know? So these things, they just work on air. It's digital. It's just like a plastic, you know? There's nothing big or small, you know? It's all about you working on the things that are available out there. It's just up to you how how are you want these things to move, you know? You package them in a different way. So if you want to go more in detail, so you learn about a whole lot of things. That's why you need to understand an OZ model from ground up, from the infrastructure side, from the physical side. You know, when the client is connected, you know, you're using IMAP, using POP3. So you started to understand different languages, you know, because you are into this space now. So I don't want to get more into technical, but it's so easy. You can identify an ISP that's already a registrar. And from there, you can open an account with them. Then you can start registering clients on their platform. Once you have enough clients, then you can start now being a registrar, start a process of being a registrar. So hosting a client is not something that is difficult, as I said. It's just easy. The only part that is important that you need to make sure that you master is the administration of the payments on the monthly. How do you communicate to the clients if there are issues? I like what Jerome just mentioned before he closed his slides. There are things you need to listen to your clients, you know? It's very important to listen to your clients. You need to take feedback when they tell you that they are not happy with the way you are servicing them, you know? So it's very important how do you keep a database of your clients. There are systems that are out there that you can use, which are already available. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. They're already there. You can use them to administer, you know, how to upload a website, or using cPanel. Now you understand, okay, once it's being designed, I can host it myself, you know? So there are different ways. Maybe you want to use .com, you know, and then you're moving from one level to the next. So it is very important that even during the lockdown, you are learning these tools, you are learning these skills, you're upgrading yourself, you know, and you're ensuring that you're moving from one step to another, and you're understanding the digital economy. You can host things online. The infrastructure, you can host it online. That's the power of digital economy. And then clients will pay you on a monthly basis. What are you doing? You're just administrating everything. You're making sure you are supporting them on a daily basis. You know, you're educating them. You're adding value with your online services. Your prices are very reasonable. And because you want to grow with your clients. Thank you. I think I will just hold it there, program director. If there are any other questions, if there are questions, I'm ready just to hear what people may say.
Thank you very much, Ndu. Your presentation was very powerful, very inspirational. Because I'm just picturing myself as an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old, 20-year-old who's lost. I don't know what to do, but I love the idea of having a business on the internet, a purely internet-based business. And I'm selling a digital product also, you know. It's very exciting that there are options that I can look at in the world. Just quickly, just stop sharing your thing there.
Okay.
So yeah, it's very exciting, very exciting. So I think so people understand the economy in the digital space, especially around being a registrar. It's one of the key important things of having a digital presence, right? Because it's a personal digital presence. What I liked is you also touched on the email addresses. Now you can have digital departments in an email address where you can have hr@mypersonal.co.za. What I'd like to ask you, Ndu, to respond to me is, if I'm a business, right, and I'm ngisendwedwe noma ngisemandeni ngisenquthu ngisemsing, I mean those areas, you know, in the lalis, in the igodi lapho, you know, in these small towns. And when I register, what would you suggest I register? Should I go for a .com as a business? Should I go for a .net? Which one would you consider, or would you advise me first to consider as a domain extension?
All right. It doesn't matter where you are in KZN, in any of the provinces. You can start with .co.za because it's reasonable in terms of pricing. You can start there, and also there are other level domain names that you can use, maybe Durban, Joburg, or whatever. But the .co.za is the most reasonable one that you can start using. Then you can start expanding because it's also well known. It's also recognized. If you say .co.za, they know you're from South Africa. You know, it identifies you as a South African product, a South African service. So it's easy for you to it's easy for them to identify you as a business that is operating in South Africa. And others are more expensive, or they're more specific into a certain industry. So .co.za, if it's a commercial business or if it's a business, but if it's an organization, you can use .org.za.
Oh, that's lovely.
I don't know if I've answered you correctly.
Yes, you have. Okay, it seems like we have a question from Facebook, from Mongezi Bubu. Uti, most domain registrants and hosting companies use an automated process for buying new services and billing. Yeah. Is there any system that Ndu can suggest to fulfill this process? I'm sure you understand this question of the automation. He's talking about that they have an automated process that enables you to buy and they can bill, you know? So is there a system that you know of, Ndu, that you can suggest to say, if you want to automate your billing as a registrar, if you want to automate your buying as a registrar, this is a software you should consider?
As a registrar, there are tools that are available, and which, as they say, it's easy for you to use for billing and all those kind of things. Most of them you can get them online, and you can which is the easy way that you can just Google those systems. At the moment, there's no billing system that I'm aware of that does that. It's something that I myself was busy doing research on that one at the moment.
Okay, thanks, Ndu. And then just one more, still from Mongezi Bubu. He's asking, what costs are there to become a domain registrar, and what is the process?
Okay, the process is for you to join or to go into trainings that Zatna is hosting. So you need to become a member of PBICT so that you know about these workshops that are taking place provincially, so that if it's taking place around your area, you will know. And there are fees that are being lifted up because it's what they are doing as Uzatna for giving Black-owned businesses an entry for them to have access into being registrars.
No, that's awesome. Thank you very much, Ndu. Jerome, I still have you on the line. Could you enable your mic just as a closing, because we still have roughly about 30 minutes to wrap up. I'd like to do some activity on digital marketing also on Facebook, on the Facebook stream. So I'd like us to just look at the one. Also from wait, maybe Jerome, as I'm speaking, maybe and then when you answer, you can switch it on. All right, that's awesome. So let me, this is for you, Jerome, to respond to, please. So Mongezi Bubu says, great presentation, precisely on point. We've used digital marketing in our business, and more than 60% of our sales are through website leads. We are, however, struggling to penetrate the local market share using digital marketing. But from the presentation, I can pick up a few things which can enable to change and to rectify this challenge. Thank you once again. What advice would you have for Mongezi with regards to the local, his local economy or his local market, so they can buy services and product from him?
Right. Thank you for the question. I wish I could actually get to understand the type of business he is doing, but it's very interesting, and I must applaud getting 60% of my sales leads on online platforms is very good for any business. One of the things I would probably advise him to do is have tools such as Google Analytics. This tool allows you to actually measure web traffic, and it gives you a picture and an idea of how many people are coming onto your website. And you know, it amongst other things, it will give you where they're coming from. And if you really want to focus on your local customer, it will give you an idea if the local people are actually coming onto your website. There's another one called Google Console, which actually gives you a picture and an idea of your website functionality. Is your website up to date? Is it functioning properly? So yeah, just try and use those two tools. I probably would really be interested to understand the detail of what efforts that you put in, and if they really worked, and if there's any opportunities for Mongezi to actually utilize other channels. But you know, from a website point of view, I'd advise start with those two software programs. Take about a bit of time to install them onto your and link them with your website, but they're actually free to use. And once you have them in, it just gives you analytics. You know, once you're able to work with analytics data, it allows you to make better decisions. So start with that. Without any doubt, you should see improvement.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Can you just your mic off again? Oh, lovely, lovely. So, Jerome, I have two more for you. The last two are from also from Facebook. Scott Pizzo has questions. I'll start with the second question and end with the last one, right? And I think the last one, in closing, both you and Ndu could respond to assist Scott and the other members who are interested in this particular thing. So what Scott is asking here is, what are the pros and cons of websites versus landing pages? And I think maybe you can clarify maybe the fundamental difference of a landing page and its function with regards to a website, because I think they are a pair. They work together. But I think that maybe you, as an expert in this field, would also be able to elaborate and then also look at the pros and cons of having either or combination of the two. I think just expand on it as much as you can. Thank you, Jerome. You can take over.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much for that question. I'll probably just push it to Undumi, so it does websites a lot more. But a landing page, if you are actually working online, whether through Facebook and so forth, in many cases, you require a call to action for anything that you do. For example, if you want people to shop your products online, there has to be a particular page where this will happen. So you need to have that landing. If somebody clicks on that particular link, it takes them to that landing page, whereas a website incorporates everything about your business. Undumiso can just further obviously elaborate. How we actually do it in many cases with social media, we'd put up any caption in place, but that call to action has to take somebody to a specific landing page, not for them to actually have a look at your whole website and so forth. It'll take them specifically where I want them to land and make that particular transaction which I want them to make. If I'm actually wanting them to read something online, you got to actually put in that particular landing page rather than directing somebody to your whole website and they end up all over the place. But I'd just like Undumiso to further elaborate on it. Yeah, thank you very much.
Ngicabanga ukuthi uhlala esikhonkosini just kanjalo nje. A landing page, it's where when someone clicks on that page, maybe you're still developing a website and you haven't finished your development, for them just to, rather than having someone who's a registrar or who's hosting your website or domain, you have their landing page there. But you have something that talks about your business and a small description about your business. Then you can have, all right, thanks, Dennis. Then you can have that as your landing page. Just introduce this, who we are, this what we do, before it gives you more description about the product, the services, and so forth and so on, while you're still working on the development. But just to show them a sneak preview what you're all about and what you can offer. And then the website, it incorporates everything. If you have products, services, your mission, your vision, your about us. So it's a whole pack of the website. If there's e-commerce as well, if they need to purchase anything, while a landing page doesn't give you all of that information.
Oh, thank you very much, Ndu. That was, and Jerome, very informative. But also this landing page and a website can be a good combination, right? Because just to further elaborate on what Jerome was saying is, I could have a fully developed website, right? I have a special that I want to create. So I go to my website, I create a special page just for that special, right? and I'll say it's 20% off. I create a campaign on social media. Someone clicks on social media on my Facebook ad or clicks on my Instagram ad. It takes you to this website. You see this page. It says, hey, you qualify for 50%. If you want a consultation, you want us to call you, put in your phone number, put in your email address, put in your name. Someone will get back to you within 3 days to talk about this particular 50% deal. So that's the beauty of a landing page. So it's really not a good idea to have an independent landing page outside of the website. So I don't see any pros and cons in separating them, but I think there's more cons. So there's more pros because then you'd be able to give your website a job, where you have very specific functions, as Jerome said, that you can isolate a special, a winter special, a summer special, spring special that you can place on your website, on your domain, and then people will then have to fill in something, click on something. That's a call to action that Jerome was talking about, where someone needs to do something to get the benefits that you've been posting on social media, So those are the pros, Do you want to weigh in a bit more on that, Jerome? Okay, I don't know if Jerome's still there.
Okay.
No, I think you got it. You guys also got it spot on. Yeah, quite some very good feedback.
Awesome, thanks, Jerome. So the last one, gentlemen. Just Jerome out here. Yeah. So the last one, gentlemen, is around the recommendation of a good master digital marketing short programs. Is like, where can I find information? So here I am. I'm 40 years old. I've been running a company successfully for the past 15 to 20 years. I need to just get an understanding of this thing. So I can find Jerome. I can find Ndumiso first. I don't have presence on the internet at all. I can find Ndumiso. I can find Jerome. But I need to start somewhere just to understand. So when Ndumiso speaks to me about registering and I understand him. And if I have to also speak to Jerome down the line, I need to understand him. He mustn't be telling about analytics and this and this and this. Then I'm confused. I'm like, hey, I am Dugis. So I need to start somewhere where I'm gradually starting just to understand, because I'm not an expert. I'm great at making soap, or I'm great at manufacturing masks, but I don't know anything about digital. I'm say maybe 50, I'm 60 years old. I'm still practicing my business that I've been running for 30 years. I need to start somewhere. Or also, I'm young. I'm in the game. I'm new. I just learned how to. I just learned how to make shoes. I just learned how to fix computers. I just learned how to solder motherboards and align chips and make small computers. But now I need to penetrate. I don't have time for social media. But at night, maybe I have 30 minutes that I can get some education. So I can find Ndumiso, who will help me with registering. I can find Jerome, who will help me with my marketing. I can find Ndumiso to also help me build my website. But, I'm good at this particular craft and I can do this. Where can I get all of these resources? Yeah, anyone can answer. Any one of you two can open up, and then you both will get a chance to speak, and then we close it.
All right. As they say, you learn till you die on it. So, or you live and learn. So there's no stopping in learning. Acquiring knowledge, and especially in the space that's why in ICT, there's always going to be something new. So there are platforms online where you can learn online. through YouTube. You can subscribe on other platforms where you can learn basics, just fundamentals of certain things that you want to know about. Maybe you want to know about hosting. Just you know to understand about internet. You just have to understand what is this internet, you know, and so to be able to know how to work around this whole thing. Just do your research. Google is a good platform where you can just anything that you think of, you can Google it. How to host? What is a registrar? What or how to be a digital marketer? You know, all of those questions that you have in mind, just ask Google. He will Google you. He will give you the answer. Uncle Google. And as I said, there are other platforms that are available out there where you can subscribe, where you pay, where they call online schools or platform where you can learn. So you can get certification online. There are tutorials that are there online that you can learn at the comfort of your own time, in your own space, especially while we are still in lockdown. It's a good time to learn and pick up some skills and learn as much as you want.
Thank you very much, Ndu. Jerome, if you can weigh in.
Yeah, I think what was mentioned exactly the platforms. Look, realistically speaking, at this day and time, if you have got internet access, you're very fortunate. A lot of these skills today are self-taught, and Google is definitely one of the platforms that you cannot afford not to be utilizing. Anything you need today, anything you need to know, you just go on Google. If I want to have see if there's any online free courses, marketing course, digital marketing course, I just go to Google and you go free digital marketing courses. So you know, cost effective. You're definitely looking at Google, YouTube. If you have got access to internet, that's the only thing that you are paying for. But you're not paying school fees to actually attend a course. It's self-taught. But again, just to actually share for somebody who's really interested in digital marketing specifically, there's online courses that are free. Google Digital Skills has free courses. Again, depending on your passion. And I always say, if you're very passionate about something, you want to learn it. You know, for me, I have a passion for marketing. So some of these courses might be very difficult online. If you have a passion for it, you'll be able to complete it. And it's very important for you, even if you go to any specific institution or college to learn something or to learn a particular skill, you know, having to actually self-teach yourself that skill is still important as well. So you still need to go to the likes of Google, the likes of YouTube. And, you know, I studied digital marketing at UCT, but I still had to spend a lot of time on the internet, which I shouldn't have. So for anyone who has interest in it, the more you actually learn about these skills, the more you actually know. It will be pointless for you to actually go on YouTube, you learn today, and then all of a sudden you completely forget about it. Spend time, create a plan for yourself that on a day-to-day basis, this is how much I'll spend on YouTube, this is how much I'll spend on Google, this is how much I'll spend on the Google Digital Skills Program. If you go online, just those two. Don't need to go any further, just those two. Google has a variety of information that's available. 90% of the information that's on Google today is information of the past 3 to 5 years. And that is not updated information that includes skills such as, you know, digital marketing, websites, and so forth. And obviously even other skills that will be needed in the future. So without any doubt, if you need anything, go to Google. We have no excuses. We have no excuses. If people have access to internet, they need to be going to the right platforms. Don't waste your data sitting on Facebook, sitting on Instagram, looking at all these beautiful pictures, all these wonderful people. Know exactly where you're going, and just go to the right platforms and go to online platforms that will help you develop as an individual.
All right, thank you very much, Jerome.
Thank you very much, Jerome.
Just to weigh in, okay?
Just to weigh in,
the online learning platforms that are available, which are free and you can subscribe, especially these days, there are many courses, many webinars that are there. Even this one is a platform where you are learning for free. So you need to utilize, follow us on PBICT. And also there's one rule that I was taught while I was still learning computers, knowing and nothing about computers. I was told one rule: you must not be afraid of computers. That's the rule. So these things, what is nice about it is that you can practice, break anything, you fix it. There's nothing that you're going to lose. It's just your time, your passion, your love for the craft that you want. They say you need to work on your craft, and keep on improving. Follow people that inspire you. Follow trends that inspire you, and also learn from them and ask them. There are forums that are available as well. There are groups that you can become part of, and also then you will learn in different ways. And then as long as you have a computer at home, online learning, it's the way to go. So as Jerome said, don't waste your time on TikTok, on chits and chats, and all those kind of things. But invest in yourself, because you don't know what the future holds for you if you don't upskill yourself at the moment.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ndu. Ndu, we do have two more questions that I'd like to address that I'm seeing that we have on the YouTube side. Kona Unjabulo Mhlongo, ne? He says, I would like to get an idea of the budget in terms of infrastructure if one wants to become a registrar. Could you help us out there, Ndu? Thank you.
The infrastructure, it depends on how many people you want that will be hosting. So there are many options that are available. They go pay as you go, depending. They are just as like an elastic, as I said before, depending on the people that you'll be hosting, or on the number of services that you'll be hosting. So there are different packages. They start from as little as 1,000 rand, depending on the number of services, number of accounts you'll be hosting. So, and it's go upwards. But you don't have to own an infrastructure. You can even rent an infrastructure for yourself. So it's just having a server that is just able to do any work. But I can say maybe 1,000 a month, depending on the number of users or a number of domains that you'll be hosting. Then you can start from there and move up and up until you own your own things. So start small, then grow.
No, that's great. Thank you very much, Ndu. Thank you very much. Just the last question for the day, so we can close it off. It relates to Ndu. It's a bit of a technical one. They're just asking, how does one register and direct a DNS? Ndu, can you get in there and give us some insights? Thank you.
How to register a DNS?
Yes.
Okay, I think for such specific questions,
so
how
do you register, and then how do you redirect a DNS?
Oh, how to register? Okay,
yes, direct a DNS. Yes.
Okay, if you're a registrar, it's easy, because they offer you all the supports that you require if you are a reseller. All of those information, how to register, you go to their platform, you sign in, and then you pay that minimum amount that you pay. depending on the domain, on the package that you want. Maybe it's a 2 gig, it's a 3 gig, how many users, so it depends. So on the registrar that are available, that are out there, you can go there and then they can direct for you. It's easy, then just give them instruction, then they were able to direct the DNS for you, easy like that.
Okay, that's really, really awesome. We've reached the end of the session. I'd like to thank you two gentlemen for making it. The digital economy is very promising, but we do know that the emphasis is on internet access. The PBICT will continue with its SMMEs to fight for spectrum, to fight to connect provinces one by one until our nation is connected, to fight to connect the rural areas as much as we can, because we're not only profit driven, we're also socially driven. We want to see people's lives getting better, and because we understand that connectivity allows for other economies to open, which don't exist currently in our semi-rural areas and our rural areas who are suffering a lot in terms of connectivity in general. And I think that many lives will be changed by connectivity, because the economy will then start opening up, and then it will better prepare the country for the fourth industrial revolution. Before I say goodbye to everybody in the live stream, I'd just like any last words, just a quick 2-minuter, 1-minuter from Jerome, and then I'll have Ndu, and then that'll be it. Thanks, Jerome. You can come on.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Nothing from my side. I think I'm just going to wish everybody nothing but safety during this difficult time of COVID-19. And for every entrepreneur out there, just stay strong. We are all in this together. But just utilize this time to re-strategize, refine your business. And I'm hoping that a lot of us in the ICT space will come out as champions after the lockdown with different strategies and new businesses that are going to take over. But to everybody else, take care, and hope to see you guys soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerome. Ndu, any last words?
Yes, no, thank you for the opportunity that you've been offered, and thanks, really. Hope that everyone has got something out of this masterclass, and we're hoping that we'll have more of this, and we're really hoping that people will implement and take action in whatever that they've had today, and able to turn around their lives in these times, because this is an opportunity in the digital economy where they can, in the comfort of their own homes, they can start hosting, they start registering domains, they can host emails, they can host services, they can start anything. And there are freelancers available online to design logos for you, to create anything, to push your mask, sanitizers, and everything. So, and just platform that people can pay online, even EFT, they can just pay on you at the comfort of your own home. So those gadgets that you have, they are so powerful. Use them wisely. That data that you have, use it wisely, and so that it can increase money for you. Don't consume it, but use it productively so that it can and say more and also more on other opportunities that are available. Keep listening, keep watching the masterclass, because we are coming with practical things. That's something that you can take and implement same time, same day. If you know someone who's running a business and has a Google account, has a Yahoo account, talk to them. Ask me how to register them. I will assist you for you to able to assist them. And if you want them to create a website, talk to us. We're able to assist you and enable for them to have an online presence. And most importantly, take care of yourself, stay safe, and make sure that you follow the safety precautions, and make sure that you skill yourself every day. Make sure that you learn something every day, take action, and do something that will change your life. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Jerome and Ndumiso. And just for the record, Jerome is also Undumiso. So the one is Undumiso Telezi and the other one is Undumiso Skakan. So we actually have two Undumisos here today. Very, very exciting. I'd like to encourage everyone on Facebook. Yes, Jerome. Okay. So I'd like to encourage everyone to please subscribe to YouTube, like our Facebook page, go on to YouTube, search We Are PBICT. You'll see there's a lot of content there. There's other masterclasses, there's other sessions, fast forward, there's other sessions which are workshops. So we have 3 streams right now that we're developing. And so we're very, very excited to be bringing you content every single week. Next week, we're planning on having more masterclasses. We just may have maybe another 2 sessions again. I think we'll be talking on security, and also we'll be bringing back the robotics with kids. So we'll try doing the robotics with kids in the morning. So we're hoping to do that around 10 a.m. And then 2 p.m. we'll do the master classes on security. We'd really love to look at 2 forms of security. One would be surveillance style security, which we're hoping that there is a comrade who'll be able to join us, and who this is his bread and butter and knows a lot about. And then another comrade will join us with regards to digital security. So we'll be looking at a variety of password protection and all of these things. And all of the intricacies of security. And remember, the workshops are meant for you to watch and be able to pick up and adopt. Because what we want is more Ndumisos, both Undu, Telezi, and Skakan. So Funa Ondu, more of them in the provinces, more of them in the country. More of you young people who are getting hold of this information, have access to data, please make sure that you tap into all of this and you tap into these opportunities. And largely the beauty of the digital economy, you don't always need a degree. A degree is something that you will go for. A master's, a degree, and a diploma is something you will go for eventually, which I do encourage. That helps with your learning and gives you deeper insights. But with information that you're finding on the internet, on Udemy, on edX, on all these other platforms, Google, YouTube, you should be able to find PDFs to read, depending on your threshold for data. Please utilize every means, get up, use these workshops to help you to become an industry companion and help your community, because the Tundus, they can't do it alone. They need assistance. They need someone who'd be able to help them out. They'll need collaboration and so forth. The workshops are made for that. So please join us again next week. We're going to have our robotics with kids, and we'll also have security later down the line. And then Sunday, we'll have something for you. Tomorrow, we won't have anything for you, unfortunately. But if we do, we'll surprise you. We don't know. The PBICT President, Leon Rolls, could just decide tonight, say, hey, can we host something? And we host it. I'd like to thank Ondu, Bobabili, Telezi, Noskakane. Thank you very much for joining us. I'd like to see more people from other provinces to come join us. Free States, Gauteng, all of the provinces, please come on board through your PECs. Business people, speak to your PECs and say, hey, I'd like to present a masterclass on manufacturing of and soldering of and fixing of, or whatever the case is that you feel strongly about. Please come on board and contribute to this channel so people can learn and we can grow the industry. Thank you very much. Goodbye to everyone.